Hi guys, it's Andy from Man City Fan TV and welcome to our first inaugural episode of MAHREZ WATCH. Now, the MAHREZ WATCH series, this is episode 1, and what we said we'd do, and we mentioned it on a previous video, is me and Ray were chatting, and after the replies by certain, Mahrez sort of fanboys on below our videos, what we decided to do was to show that we're not ignoring Riyad Mahrez. Is what we're going to do is we're going to do a segment after every game, just 2 minutes. That's all it is, 2 minutes on Riyad Mahrez, solely about his performance, how he played, whether that be made an assist or a great ball or a poor performance or whatever it is. We'll be objective. So literally what we've got is 2 minutes just to talk about Riyad Mahrez versus Chelsea. Mahrez played on the right hand side. Sterling started off in a strikers or false nine sort of role with Sané on the left, and sort of for the first 44 minutes we were very, very dominant, and we had a lot of the ball, but we weren't really creating anything because Sterling isn't a natural striker and neither is Mahrez, and Mahrez was constantly swapping with Sterling to play that sort of false nine striker role, which just neither looked comfortable. Certainly Mahrez did nothing when he was in that sort of striker's role. We had a lot of the ball, but we weren't really creating anything because Sterling isn't a natural striker and neither is Mahrez. And Mahrez was constantly swapping with Sterling to play that sort of false nine striker role, which just neither looked comfortable. Certainly Mahrez did nothing when he was in that sort of striker's role. Now, in the first half in particular, he played an absolutely wonderful ball through to Leroy Sané. I mean, his touch from crosses, cross-ball crosses from the likes of Delph and Laporte, etc. And his first touch and control is absolutely exceptional. I don't think anybody can deny that. He's got a wonderful first touch and control. However, the problem being is that he never takes a player on. He reminds me of Bernardo Silva in his first season at Manchester City, whereby he constantly feigned to go past the player when he played on the right hand side, came back inside, played a simple ball or played it back to Kyle Walker or another right back. He was isolating Alonso one-on-one, didn't take him on. And then we saw him drift inside, and he sort of spent 5 minutes or so playing as a striker and Raheem Sterling went on the right hand side. But he's not a striker, he don't look comfortable in that position, and we saw him drift back out onto the right hand side and do the same thing over and over again. Now, I will back it up with the fact that he got into a great position at one point and, like I said, played that wonderful ball to Leroy Sané. I mean, it's just a cultured left foot. But the problem being is that he's playing in a winger's role. Now, he's got to take people on, he's got to do something different. And then at least when Sterling was on the right hand side, he isolated Alonso at one point, absolutely destroyed him, got into the box, played the ball across, and the danger was eventually cleared. And in the first half again, Mahrez came in, sort of like, got the ball, came back, didn't pass it, and then looked to play the most ridiculous cross-field pass to Fabian Delph, which was intercepted by, I think it was Eden Hazard. And luckily, his interception was a poor touch, and we got it back with Aymeric Laporte, I think. Otherwise, Hazard would have been one-on-one, 25, 30 yards from goal against Laporte, and probably would have destroyed him with his pace and trickery. So he needs to cut that side out of his game. But I don't want to be too harsh because, like I said, I don't think he's a right winger, if I'm being really honest. I think he'd be perfect in the 10 role, where he can use his trickery and his passing and things like that, because, he just never takes on a player. And that's very frustrating. It's almost like every time he got the ball, the defenders knew exactly what he was going to do. He's going to cut in on his left, and he's either going to pass it back or he's going to try a cross. And invariably, just like Leroy Sané's, invariably those crosses went to nobody other than a Chelsea player. So, you know, I'm not having a go at Mahrez here, but this is Mahrez Watch, and I could quite easily talk about sort of the poor performances by David Silva, Leroy Sané, and plenty of other City players on Saturday. But at the end of the day, I do think that he's got to learn that when he isolates a fullback one-on-one when he's playing on the wing, he's got to do something other than cut inside onto his favoured left foot. He's got to try and either work on his right foot or take the player on and commit him. Who knows? Get him in, drive him into the box. He may get a penalty. He may get a corner. He may get, you know, whatever, a ricochet or something like that. So Mahrez had a so-so game. Just like many City players, and I'd be struggling to give anyone more than a 6 or possibly a 7. I thought Fernandinho had an exceptional game, so he gets a 7. But if we go right across the board, I think Mahrez is in the same category of the likes of Sané, Silva, Bernardo Silva, and many others, and I'll be generous, and I'm going to give Riyad Mahrez for the Chelsea game a big 6. So, if you enjoyed this episode, which is all about Mahrez, which what you know, many of the fans said below the videos that we posted that we don't talk enough about Riyad Mahrez. Do you want another episode 2 after the Hoffenheim game on Wednesday night? If so, comment below the video. We'll do a video. We're objective. We'll give you our opinions, and give us your opinions below. Do you think it's unfair? Do you think what I've said is right? So anyway, this is Andy from Man City Fan TV. This is Mahrez Watch, and we'll see you soon.